Welcome back to Sunrise Daily, and then to shed some light on this, of course, talking about still employment and the program which is being worked on, we are again moving over to Abuja.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. We do have with us Falabi Imokwede, who is a Senior Special Assistant to the President on Job Creation. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
Well, we're definitely here that 200,000 volunteer graduates have begun work.
Volunteers, yes.
Have they begun already?
They'll begin December 1. They've been mobilized, yes.
They've been mobilized.
Yes.
So how is the scheme supposed to work?
Okay, so let me backtrack a bit. So it's part of the 500,000 social investment program budget in the 2016, and for which, job creation is one of it. Now, for the job creation, there is a graduate component, which is 500,000, and then there is a non-graduate component, which is about 100,000, 75,000 going vocational, and 25,000 for technology jobs from software, hardware, and technology. Now, the 100,000 I've just spoken about, those are empowerment programs. So actually be training and then apprenticeships in jobs. But this one that we've mobilized now is actually for the graduates. And we've mobilized 200,000 off the 500,000. As you know, it's a paid volunteer program for 2 years, wherein they would work as teaching assistants in the public primary schools. They will work as healthcare delivery assistants in the community health centers, and also as agric extension workers also in the farms. So what we've done this in strong collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agric and Federal Ministry of Health, and the states governors and basically the states, so 36 states and the FCT.
Well, I do not know if you were here earlier to hear what our first guest said about, some of the criticisms are beginning to trail that program, even though it's just started. Okay. He was asking how is it that the states are supposed to be a part of it. I mean, these people are going to work in the states when they were not a part of it from the very beginning. No,
that's not true. What it is, so what do you define by being a part of it? The governors have been stakeholders with us. We've made presentations both at NGF and even at the National Economic Council, NEC.
So in other words, do you realize the specific area of needs for the different states? Do they tell you where they will need more people? So for instance, if a state needs more agric extension workers, or they need more health workers, do you skew it in that direction for those states?
So very good question. And let me answer it in two ways. Firstly, the way the distribution has been done is also based on demand on the portal. So the portal was opened, so I need to backtrack a bit. The portal was opened in June and was closed end of August, and then we had the cleaning process and then the testing that happened from September to October 31st, so which is also the reason why we're actually just mobilizing them now. What we've also done in working with the states, each state governor has given us a focal person. And these focal persons are very senior in the levels of commissioners or special advisors to them. And obviously the FCT minister also has given us a focal person. Now, what we've several conversations with the focal persons, they are actually, the states are actually now going to be the ones in charge of deployment. So they will deploy as demand, as their demand is, as you've said. So the program is designed that those who are going for the TEACH program would go into public primary schools. But some states obviously have already started making suggestions about they may want to also apply them towards junior secondary schools. But really those will be up to the states. And so what we did even last week Wednesday in Abuja here, where we met with all the focal persons, we actually asked them to come with their SUBEBs. As you know, the SUBEBs is the State Universal Board of Education, which is in charge of the primary and junior secondary level. So they're going to work actively with their SUBEBs to deploy them. Before now, we've also asked the states to send us their statistics, the census of their public primary schools, to send us by local government, and also to send us their teacher-student ratio. So we have that information now, but then again, they will do the deployment, and we will now go to monitor and give oversight over what they've done. So that's that. For Agric, what we've done is we're working with Federal Ministry of Agric, because what you also need to understand is this is not just some faffing around social program. It's actually a program that's been designed to also speak to the needs of the economy, especially as you begin to speak to diversification. So hence you heard me talk about technology, heard me talk about vocational skills for construction and the like, and obviously agriculture, wherein the minister himself specifically requested, for some of these graduates to be deployed as agric extension workers. So with Ministry of Agric, we're working specifically with them, with all the 36 states and FCT again, through their agri development programs that are across the local government areas.
I'm a little worried about that. Do they have training for it?
Okay, we'll come to that in a minute. Yes, as you know, they would all have devices. So part of the reason why we've had to deploy was the devices procurement was obviously stalling a little bit. It's taking a bit of time. So we're not going to have to wait for that again. So yes, they would get devices within the next few months that they have been deployed. But right now, there's a plan B. They now have what we call the learning management portal, which is web-based, so that they can access that through any of their phones, any of their technophone or whatever it is, or even through WhatsApp. So yes, there will be training. It's a program that is designed as a continuous training and a continuous application. So I like to say it's an earn while you learn program. So for those in agric, for example, there would even be physical training, more like induction and training, that the Federal Ministry of Agric would be conducting with these ADPs, like I said, at local government level. And then when they get their gadget, they would use those gadgets in doing assignments like soil tests, sensors that the ministry plans to do as part of its Green Revolution program. For health, it's the same thing. The Ministry of Health, through its Agency of Primary Health Care, is also working actively with us. They also are the ones who have designed the training modules and the content. There would also be face-to-face induction training for the health extension workers across the local government, because their primary assignment will actually be the community centers, where they would undertake tasks like hygiene, sanitation, immunization support, things like that, and all of that. So
let's quickly go to Lagos now for some questions.
Okay.
Well, could you tell us, many wonder, is government now playing the role of entrepreneurs? What specifically do the private sector have to do here?
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, let me say that government definitely is not playing the role of entrepreneurs at all. I must say very clearly, the president has said it oftentimes, the job creation strategy of this government is private sector led. It's demand driven. We've had many, even for me as spearheading the job creation unit, we're in very strong cahoot with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. As you also know, job creation was one of the roundtable sessions in the last summit. So we have strong collaborations ongoing with the private sector, where we're looking at priority sectors like agriculture, ICT. You've seen a lot of what is happening in the technology space in the last few months with the Aso Villa Demo Day, with a few of the whole technology programs that the government has sponsored together with private sector. So agric, ICT, construction, retail and renewable energy, obviously the mines and steel are priority sectors that we're working very actively with the private sector. You also saw with the results yesterday from MBS showing that as much as, yes, there's still an overall recession decline, agric and mines and steel are obviously improving. So that's the broader policy for job creation. However, in the midst of this, it was also very clear that the government needed to put his mouth where his money is. And that's really what the social investment program is about, which is really to stem the tide. What you and I would agree is that when you have the private sector development in the larger economy, it will take some time, especially in a country now where we are battling with recession and dwindling revenues. So that's what this program is. It's a social intervention, but it's also a program that is designed that the private sector themselves become beneficiaries of the output. As I had explained earlier, we are going to actually be more active with the private sector on the empowerment program. So I'll give you, for example, the vocational one that we're going to be doing with some of the trades in construction and automobile. Our private sector partners are very active. They are the ones who are actually going to provide needed apprenticeships and work experience that these young beneficiaries would. The same thing with technology. Very interesting with the technology bit, such that the plan for that is that a lot of our young beneficiaries would actually get trained and be able to sit here and actually earn forex. It's really going to be modeled after the Andela program. So you can think about it on the biggest broad spectrum scale of what Andela has done. So yes, the private sector is very active, but for this primary deployment, the public sector services are your first focus and the first recipients. Does he say that will some states perhaps defer to private sector partners? Why not? I can imagine that for agric, if they have more than enough in a particular state,